Hey guys, Thomas the Jr. here, aka Mustached. Welcome to my review of My Soul to Keep. More of that October goodness coming your way with some horror reviews, and that includes My Soul to Keep. So, in this movie, we follow a young boy named Eli who claims that he has a boogeyman coming after him. So he decides that he wants to share the story of this said boogeyman coming after him to his students at his school. And the monster that is being referred to does have a bad name, though I didn't remember what it was. I just remember that the kids themselves were sort of mocking the name. So some music comes on as we see the kids playing about and doing kid stuff. And we see Eli's friend named Sam. So they're hanging out and doing their own thing. So afterwards, we cut to the parents who are in this conference with the teacher, and the teacher is all about like, oh, the son is doing these pictures, it's a bad thing. They talk about how he was on medication at some point. And we learn that we also see another character named Hillary, sort of like this young crush character, who tells him about this prayer that he can do to help him out along the way. So, Eli and Sam again are getting picked up by the parents at the school. We also see that Eli has an older sister named Emily. And that will come back a little bit later. So Eli and Sam mess with this drone that they have, and they mess with the sister and record her, and then she's like giving chase. We see that the furnace keeps coming on throughout the movie, which has a deeper, like, oh, that's what's going on thing going on to it. So Eli uploads the video of his sister and then gets punished a little bit. Get that small kid punishment of like, oh, no electronics. And after that, he gets taken to the basement and he's all scared, and the dad is trying to tell him that to be stronger and that he has this light inside of him. So the father tests him right then and there, and he kind of freaks out after a bit. Then we get cut to his room, or we cut to Hillary looking up to what she sees as a monster or some sort of figure in the distance, so she's sort of seeing things too. So we cut to the parents enjoying a movie, and then Eli joins them, and there's this very clear and obvious ad for OxyClean for whatever reason. Movie is like, well, that's going on, and we see that this darkness is on the move. Things are moving about. So Eli grabs a light and looks around and outward and see some figures and distance and so on and so forth. We eventually see that it is Emily that is doing all of this, or at least the end result of the jump scare ends up just being Emily anyways. So the mom tells her how that's wrong and yada yada yada. And then Sam comes by, so they're hanging out once again, Eli and Sam. Hillary comes over very briefly, brings over some papers, and then some more music plays as they're like doing their little thing. And she convinces them that there was a past to this ghost that had that funky name. Something like Burglary Man, like that, something like that. So they go to this old man who tells them about the past, about this guy who killed kids through the furnace. So this freaks them out, obviously, so they leave. And we go back to Eli's house where, again, more furnaces going on and off, and Eli and Sam are now making their way toward it. they're like messing with it, or like at least Sam is. He takes a closer look. He sees this little hole in the wall, not too big or anything, tosses the ball in it, testing things out, curiously and all that. So Eli's waiting and looking outward. We cut back to him like upstairs or whatever. The mom is like interrupts him from doing whatever he was doing. And then Eli's on his own again for a moment as he sort of hears more noises going on about. And then we see that the parents already dropped off Sam. And then, so we learn that Emily's supposed to take care of Eli, and that Dominic, I suppose Emily's boyfriend could have come over to watch the both of them. So the lights are going in and out at this point. There's like this storm that we are earlier learned in the movie that is going to hop on. And Eli's just chilling, playing some games, eating some ice cream, chilling out. He's trying to on a walkie-talkie Sam, but it's kind of working at that point. So Dominic comes over and he seems like a pretty chill dude. He's like, yeah, I'll chill. And then we see Emily go back to her very obnoxious, and I'm just going to say bitchy sort of demeanor. And at this point really bugs me is that like she does all of this stuff to Eli and then, tosses the walkie in the way she just treats him, and then like the boyfriend sees all of this and just decides that he's still going to go with her. Like, holy fuck. Jeez, man. You must be really desperate to, if that is going to be your partner, girlfriend, Ugh. Anyway, so they leave, and they leave Eli alone in the house. So now he's freaking out. He, stacks up a whole bunch of lights. As you can see on the poster, he has, the little glow sticks on him. He has, a headlight. He has a big Christmas lights that he sets up. So we cut to him or Hillary doing a small prayer for Eli very briefly, and then we go back to Eli again, gearing up with the lights, Christmas lights, all the stuff. The darkness is trying to get to him, but it can't quite get to him. We see that Hillary, more so over, is having shadows go to her too. She's doing her freak out moment. Eli takes a nap and then wakes up from the freak out. He sees that the walkie has vanished and then is looking for it. Towards the furnace, and then he runs up getting freaked out. Eventually the Christmas lights are starting to get snagged. The door knocks, and then Eli leaves the house again. He tries sending messages to online, but we cut to the parents saying that they're getting updated by Emily, so I guess his notes are being sent nowhere, I guess. I don't know. So he blocks the basement door with the chair. He's upstairs now, blocking the downstairs from the darkness. And he's looking for the drone. He packs a bag and more lights. And he's hearing the furnace from below. So he chucks this light down, and he starts again looking down to try to figure out how he's gonna defeat this darkness once and for all. And the walkie keeps on not working. So he picks up a vacuum or some sort of light or a phone or something, and he asks or something, I don't know. Anyway, we cut to Sam, who's asking for a passcode to a phone so he can call somebody to his mom, but the mom's too tired. So she's whatever. So the TV's like goes on its own, and then the power goes out fully, and the door slowly but surely starts to barge open. The darkness is like starting to creep. So he rushes back to his room. Sam calls the police. We're going back and forth a lot. The noises are bumping off, and the darkness is getting closer and closer now. So he smartly uses the drone and the light from the drone, and I think this is the first scenario where I've seen a drone used for good instead of like killer drones. So interesting that this movie finally decides like, hey, you can use drones for good too, you know. So he's using it for a light, and he's backing up the darkness and chasing it about. So Sam is getting tired of sticking around, and it's established earlier that it's a long travel, so he takes his bike. But Eli's like desperate to get his toy because it's like his power, I guess, or whatever you want to consider it. Like, you know, he's a kid, you know, whatever. So he fixes the battery for the flashlight, one of the many flashlights that he has. And we hear the door knocking, and there is a fake or real Hillary. It's really unclear. But the door is knocking, and Eli is pretty sure that that's not good. But the police come over to Sam's house, though, to check in on the call that he had made to the police, because he does finally call the police at some point. So Eli takes a breath, and then he's like near the door still, picks up the cross and heads down, and he's like heading back to his room, using the drone once more, making sure that the darkness is like staying where it is, and then the darkness gets even more powerful, and then it sucks in the drone. So it sucks it in, and everything else, the lights go out again. So now Eli is like out on like the hallway right where the stairs are, and he's frozen as the monster starts to assimilate from the darkness. So he's attempting to pray, but he only knows like he only remembers like the first line of the prayer from Hillary. Hillary. So we cut to Hillary crying out his name. We see Sam arrive on the scene sometime later. We don't know like an estimated time, but it does tell us later, so I'll get to that in a moment. So he's looking around, and then he gets to the basement, and then he looks at the corner, and we don't see what he sees, but he starts crying for Sam. And then we cut to the police arriving at the house. The sad music is playing. We see the mom slap the daughter, and we hear one of the police officers say that he's been like dead for like 3 hours. So he was like left alone in his house for 3 hours, and the darkness got him in that time. But we see that Sam gets a little message from his walkie from Eli saying that he's like not gone, or not truly gone, or something along those lines, or asking for help, something like that. And then the movie ends. And that was My Soul to Keep. For a horror movie, it started off pretty like more upbeat. I almost felt like it was going to be like almost a completely different movie, and then like sort of like started to do the typical cliche jump scares, and then they used, you know, the kid as the vehicle for this darkness, and I think that's fine. I think this will probably be more effective for a little bit of a younger audience, since we are following a younger kid here. Potential sequel bait, I suppose, with the whole Eli talking at the end. I'm not sure if that's what they're attempting to do. Potentially, I guess. I'd give this movie a 6 out of 10, I suppose. It wasn't that bad. You know, you kind of... He's like a kid. You just kind of feel like, oh, that's kind of like sad, I guess, that he didn't make it. Not typical of a horror movie that you only get the one death and it happens to be the protagonist. I don't think that's that common, at least not recently anyway. So, again, that was my Soul to Keep, and that was my review of it. And if you enjoyed that, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Until next time, everyone, bye-bye.